Welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving straight into a highly sophisticated blueprint, exactly how to build a highly secure smart city ecosystem using the Saudi National Cybersecurity Authority, or NCA mandates. Listen, if you're operating in the kingdom, understanding how these governance, risk, and compliance frameworks actually interlock, well, it's not just a box-ticking exercise anymore. It is really about sheer operational survival. Let's get into it. Here is the roadmap for what we'll construct over the next few minutes. We'll start with the core foundation, the ECC. Then, we'll branch out into specialized security extensions, step inside the GRC architecture itself, check out some dynamic compliance monitoring, and finally, take a look at the unified cyber ecosystem as a whole.
Part 1. The Core Foundation, ECC, establishing the baseline.
To build anything resilient, right, you absolutely have to start at the bedrock. The 2024 update to the Essential Cybersecurity Controls, or the ECC, is essentially a massive subterranean concrete foundation. It literally holds up your entire IT infrastructure. Make no mistake, this represents the absolute minimum cybersecurity requirement. Every single government agency and private organization has to establish this base just to keep their heads above the rising tide of cyber risks.
But here is where we need some stark corporate clarity. Royal Decree number 57231 makes it crystal clear. The NCA provides the blueprint, sure, but they don't pour the concrete for you. The ultimate responsibility for protecting your networks, your systems, and your data, that falls squarely on your organization's shoulders. You cannot outsource that accountability.
Moving right along to Part 2, specialized security extensions branching out from the core. So, from that rock-solid foundational shield we just talked about, we construct 3 distinct operational branches. Why? Because not all systems face the same exact threats, so the NCA developed very specific extensions. We've got high-altitude cloud infrastructure, critical internal systems in the core, and heavy industrial floors. Let's break these down one by one.
First up is the Cloud Cybersecurity Controls, or CCC. What's fascinating here is the heavy focus on the shared responsibility model. It splits the security obligations right down the middle between cloud service providers and cloud tenants. So whether you're running IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS, the ultimate goal is exactly the same: airtight protection of your data's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Next, we look at the core of the building, Critical Systems Cybersecurity Controls, the CSCC. We're talking about safeguarding systems that, if breached, would severely impact national security or the economy. No pressure, right? To handle that, the framework mandates exactly 73 rigorous subcontrols, and compliance here isn't just a suggestion, it's evaluated strictly through mandatory self-assessments and potentially intense on-site audits. Finally, we drop down to the industrial floor for the Operational Technology Cybersecurity Controls, or OTCC. This one is absolutely vital for protecting industrial control systems. Because listen, a breach down here, it's not just about losing some data. It is about mitigating severe, real-world, physical impacts on health, safety, and the environment, what we commonly call HSE.
Part 3. The GRC architecture, essentially the modern corporate command center.
All right, so the infrastructure is built. Now we step into the command center where compliance officers oversee this entire sprawling ecosystem. And whether you're looking at the foundational ECC, the cloud, critical systems, or OT, all of these NCA frameworks universally rely on 4 core pillars. Strategy ensures alignment with the law. People ensures HR vetting and staff awareness. Process lays down the rigorous rules, and technology provides the actual cyber defenses. If even one of these pillars wobbles, your entire resilience falls apart. This GRC architecture also seamlessly balances 2 opposing forces: proactive planning and reactive response. On the proactive side, you're literally mandated to conduct annual reviews of your risk methodology and keep your risk treatment register fully updated. But on the reactive side, you've got to use active threat intelligence to identify the tactics, techniques, and procedures of real threat actors, all while regularly testing your incident response through simulated cyber attacks.
Part 4. Dynamic Compliance Monitoring, exploring real-time analytics and the threat radar.
Let's look at how this command center visualizes threats and compliance in real time, starting with operational technology. It's crucial to understand that not all assets are created equal. The OTCC actually uses a tiered approach, filtering between 3 levels: L1, L2, and L3. It's entirely based on asset criticality. You basically weigh the potential negative impact on business availability, physical health and safety, and the national economy to figure out exactly what level of control you need.
Meanwhile, scanning over in our cloud environment, we're tracking the compliance burden within the CCC framework, and this exposes the hard numbers of that shared responsibility model we mentioned earlier. Check this out. Cloud service providers have to adhere to 37 main controls, taking on the heavier foundational burden, while tenants have to actively manage 18. Both sides really have to work in perfect tandem.
Now, a huge part of this real-time monitoring involves communicating with the NCGA directly, sharing alerts and threat intelligence. But how you share that data is just as important as what you share. The NCGA uses the Traffic Light Protocol, or TLP. As an example, a neon amber tag means restricted sharing. You are limiting distribution only to internal personnel who literally need to take action. This is absolutely critical to ensure sensitive threat data doesn't leak out.
Part 5. The Unified Cyber Ecosystem, Integrating the Digital Workspace. Okay, let's pull the camera back a bit and see how this entire digital workspace folds together under one roof. We've built the ECC foundation, we extended it into the cloud, critical systems, and operational technology, and we managed it all through the 4 main GRC pillars. All of these controls, extensions, and real-time monitoring tools synthesize perfectly into one authoritative, centralized GRC hub. Frankly, this is what true resilience looks like. It's a deeply integrated matrix where strategy, people, processes, and technology are just in constant, automated alignment with national mandates.
So the NCSA has provided the blueprint for a highly secure ecosystem, but actually building it, that construction is up to you. I'm going to leave you to reflect on this one crucial question. Is your organization's architectural blueprint truly resilient enough to withstand the next generation of cyber threats, all while maintaining absolute NCSA compliance? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to critically assess your own GRC posture today.